Green Bay Packer fans, NFL fans. I'm gonna leave it there. James, your team.
Good job,
showed
James.
up.
Good job.
Dallas Cowboy haters.
They're the
Hey.
Cowboy killers. That's why you're
Yeah.
honorary Bayou City boy for life, because y'all just take care of our slack.
We covered the spread in style. Made you guys the only Texas team remaining.
Good.
That matters.
It
We were the
does
only one
matter.
that mattered to begin with.
Hey, honestly, like, did y'all, as Packers fans, did y'all believe that y'all could win that game before it started?
I was optimistic. I'm not going to say I called it. On the show I said I think we will cover the spread of 7.5. I thought it was going to be a 1 or 2 possession game, come down to the wire kind of thing. But about an hour before kickoff, I was like, we have like nothing to lose. The Packers had nothing to lose. Super young team, exercised all the drama from last couple seasons. And the more I thought about it, and they were showing Aaron Jones versus the Cowboys stats before the game, and this is a good matchup for the Packers. My biggest worry, though, was stopping the Cowboys' passing attack. With how bad Joe Barry's been the last couple of years, how many injuries we've dealt with in the secondary, even with Jair back, I was worried about CD going off. And I know his stats make it look like he had a good game, but
Oh, he was non-effective for 3 quarters.
right, and they had dumb matchups. He was in the slot in the first quarter. They put Quay Walker on him. I was like, oh, he's going to get torched all night if they stick to this. And he did get burned, but Dak missed him. But you could tell right away the body language was off with Dak and CD. And Jordan Love his confidence has gone sky high the last 5-6 weeks. And it looked like he didn't feel the pressure because there really wasn't any pressure on him. He was playing loose. And everyone's comparing him to Rodgers and Favre and all that. But honestly, it reminds me a little bit more, not of Rodgers' first season, of Rodgers' first long playoff run, which resulted in a Super Bowl. So I'm not saying it's going to be a Super Bowl by any means. But Rodgers in those playoff games, even in Rodgers' first playoff game when they lost to Arizona, when he got face masked, Rodgers was very confident and put up big numbers, and it showed what the future has in store. And I kind of feel like that was the case with Love, who had a basically perfect game. And Aaron Jones hasn't been healthy all season. And Zach, you had him on fantasy. Like, if he had been healthy all season, I don't think this team sneaks into the playoffs. I think there could have been a 5 seed at least.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's why I said, like, he controlled the drive on his own yesterday and scored. And it's like, all right, fuck. Now, if you got to take all your attention and put it on Aaron Jones, which is something the Cowboys didn't expect, Love shredded him. Because the announcer literally said it yesterday. Greg Olsen said, oh, they're selling out. They got 8 men in the box to stop Aaron Jones. They're gonna make Love beat him with his arm. And the very next play, Musgrave gets loose on a post route, on an out route, and he's like 30 yards up the field, the only man on that side of the field. And it's like, all right, well, y'all made that shit even easier. So, like, I just think you guys were the better team yesterday in the sense, like, y'all played like a team. It was complimentary football. Like, it's hard to be any team when every aspect of it is doing its job.
Yeah, having both tight ends was huge, having Musgrave and Kraft. And
Romeo
having this
Doubs
receiving.
murdered that secondary in the first half. He killed that team, bro.
100 yards, I think.
Then you had Wicks, then you had Watson come back from injury, and Watson didn't even need to do anything. They have enough weapons to hang with any team. The question will be moving forward, can the D hold up? Because going into San Fran next week, I think Love's the better quarterback. I'll just say that between the two in terms of the throws he can make. But San Fran in previous playoff matchups against the Packers have just dominated physically and running the ball. Even back when they had Mostert, it was just running. And I think McCaffrey, if they can somehow stop McCaffrey, but that's a future problem. Right now, I'm just enjoying taking it. Packers have never lost in AT&T Stadium. I think they have more playoff wins than the Cowboys do there. So,
what I liked about y'all secondary, because
cool.
you said earlier, like, you were nervous about the secondary. I told you earlier, I thought they played phenomenally for a majority of the game. And what was good about it to me is, like, when CD and Dak started bickering, Jair jumped over to the CD. He was pushing after the play. He was antagonizing. It reminded me of like Cortland Finnegan. You know what I mean? He's like, all right, like you're already pissed off now. I'm really gonna rub your nose in this shit. And he just didn't let CD get comfortable. And until Jair got it hurt, CD did his shit.
Yeah, and Rasul Douglas, we traded him. Everyone was like, "Oh, they're throwing away the season," but part of that was Valentine just started playing so well that they saw that, even though he was a younger corner. And then Stokes came back and got hurt again. It's just been inconsistent in terms of who's been available. But then you made a guy like Savage, who's been around a long time with the Packers. He knew that they were going to try to give CD the ball because CD was wanting the ball, even if he will deny that he ever demands for the ball. So yeah, they really took advantage of a lot of Dallas's
But that was
issues,
the beauty of like Valentine, which I knew he was a good player because y'all got him from us. And Jair doing their thing is it let him play the field. Like, I'm playing the quarterback, I'm shooting gaps, I'm fucking cutting routes, and that's how he got the pick six, because that changed the game. Like, once that happened, I was like, this shit's over with. Dallas don't have a chance. He just took their soul, and I loved it. But y'all should do the same thing next week. It's like we're either selling out on the run or we're selling out of the pass. I would rather sell out on the pass against San Fran and try to hope that them linebackers could do something with CMC.
Yeah, that's a question. I mean, Devontae Campbell's back.
Which he should have had a pick the other day. That bitch hit him in the hands in the end zone. And he dropped it.
There was a few of those.
Well, once again, everyone's already written the Niners and the Ravens in the Super Bowl. So for the Packers, this is just more experience. Love coming back to California, where he's from. He's been playing as confident as anyone. So, and these teams that have to play to get into the playoffs, we see it year after year. The ones who have to win out or whatever, win their last three to make the playoffs, they always seem to carry that energy into the wild card and beyond. Where you have a Niners team who wasn't playing for anything the last couple of weeks, then they had a week off. Yeah, they might get healthier, but they don't have the momentum that Green Bay does. And even if Green Bay goes in there and San Fran wins or even dominates, I still think the takeaway from this is the Packers' bright future. And yesterday was just a sneak peek of what this team can be capable of. And Matt LaFleur, I've loved him since he came here, and I thought it was unfair people gave Rodgers all the credit for those initial good years. But he's shown that he can develop a quarterback and win pretty consistently.
Your O-line showed up yesterday. It played better than I thought it was going to against Micah.
Yeah, no sacks.
None.
Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones blew his dumb
Aaron
ass
Jones,
up
man.
on a play yesterday.
UTEP, there you go.
I will say this though, being from like Houston sports area, they did actually talk about the Packers a lot. Like that you see that graphic of Love and CJ pretty much having identical numbers, and it was funny because they were like both battles in Houston, in Texas, both young quarterbacks. The future is bright and this and that, and it was kind of cool because I mean, of course, we say everybody laughs when the Cowboys lose, and so it's easy content, easy stuff all over.
Oh, don't we know it?
But Green Bay, if you watch the game, Green Bay destroyed that team, and then basically was like, all right, we're done. Because Cowboys fans, you can't, you were out of it.
To give Green Bay the best compliment I could, it's like usually in the playoffs, the Cowboys find a way to beat themselves. Green Bay didn't need that. They just beat the shit out of them themselves. It was a dominant performance. It was beautiful to watch them lose. I say I wait for 2 days a year, Christmas and the day the Cowboys lose in the playoffs.
Much.
Yeah, it was great to watch. I was a little, honestly, like earlier on, I was like, oh man, I could see up 20-0. I was a little paranoid, like, okay, lots of game left. Don't get ahead of ourselves. But you're right. When the pick six happened, I was like, oh man. Man. And then Dallas scored to end the half. I was still down 20. And I know they get the ball back, but that's a good comparison, Nick, between the teams because Stroud's first-year starter, Love's first-year starter. they both went into these games against. I know the Browns aren't the Cowboys in terms of popularity, but like there's all this Joe Flacco Renaissance talk and his comeback story, and then you just beat the shit out of him and left no doubt that it wasn't the Browns losing. You fucking killed them, and it's the same for the Packers.
Bro.
Just went in there, killed them. Stroud was amazing. Love was amazing.
Yeah.
And no matter what happens against the 1 seeds next week for both of our teams, you have to feel good about the season as a whole.
It's funny because like I'll put the graphic up. Their numbers were identical pretty much. 16 and 21 completion attempts. Stroud had 274 yards. Love had 272 yards. Both of them had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and both of them had a passer rating of 157.2. And they're both going into the number 1 team next week.
And somebody commented on that earlier, and they said, "Oh, so the added 2 yards that CJ got didn't change the passer rating." They're like, "That's a lot of inches," and I was like, "Relax."
It's like, but like I give it credit where it's due. Like, I mean, they're going into the toughest games now, the number 1 seeds. But I mean, we were talking about it off camera. It was like, what did Zach say? If that Aaron Jones shows up, I'm not discounting that Packers team at all. Because like and if you bottle up
Lamar, same thing, which I think you have the personnel and the coaching to do so. So I think we're both in a situation that
I've been saying this about Houston for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I think that you'll probably feel the same way about your team. It's like, I'm willing to die on the sword that got us here. Us and CJ, you know what I mean? So like, even if we can't bottle up Lamar, it's like, I'm gonna fucking still let CJ throw the ball. Win, lose, or draw. He's gonna win. For you guys, it's like, y'all are a big play team. You got to keep the ball in Jordan Love's hands and hope your playmakers do their thing. Because y'all are just as good at yards after the catch plays as San Fran. And their secondary is just as bad as y'all. So, hey, y'all got to swing. Y'all got a chance, bro.
Yeah. I just hate how everyone's like, it's the Niners and Ravens for sure. And it's like the NFL is always close enough where that doesn't matter. And I think back to when the Packers, once again, I'm not saying we're going to go on some run here, but when the Packers won it all, they won against Philly on the road, then they had to go to the 1 seed Atlanta, who had Matt Ryan. And this was before everyone knew Matt Ryan was a choke artist. But everyone's like, you can't beat Atlanta in Atlanta. That place is going to be rocking. And they beat the shit out of them. They had like 2 pick sixes in that game. It wasn't even close. And it just sometimes in the NFL, we crown these teams based on the end of the regular season. And I know talent-wise, the Niners and Ravens are the most talented teams left. But I think it's far from like a no-brainer that they're just going to waltz through the next 2 rounds.
The reason that I would be optimistic as a Packers fan is because I remember we vividly say about your guys' defense before the season started is like, y'all don't have a great defense, but y'all have star power. Like, y'all have name value on y'all shit. You know what I mean? And when Jair took that ball from Brandon Cooks, that shook that. So, like, that was like a punch that your star made. And that's very similar to what happened to the Packers when y'all won the Super Bowl. Is y'all got hot. Clay was on the quarterback. BJ Raji was on the quarterback. Woodson was it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, y'all might be on the bottom part of the lightning bolt, bro. You just got to ride that bitch and see where it takes you.
Yeah. No, I like it. Yeah, Luke Van Ness had some big plays yesterday. Rashawn Gary is always involved. I think with the Niners, it's going to come down to how it starts. Like, if we get the ball first and do that. But the problem is with the Niners it's Shanahan versus a Shanahan disciple. So, unlike the Cowboys, who aren't as prepared for that kind of style. But, I mean, LaFleur's beaten the Niners before. I mean, I was with Rodgers. So, I'm not saying it's – I don't know. I just like the momentum. And I think momentum's a real thing in the playoffs.
Same game plan, flip the script. Y'all started out running and switched over to pass. You got to pass to switch to running. Because if you guys come out running, they're expecting that. And when you have Dre Greenlaw and Warner, it's really hard to do. But if I can pass the ball and get running options towards Bosa or Chase Young's dumbass, who aren't particularly good at stopping the run, and I can get a blocker to the second level, Aaron Jones will eat. Same game plan, just do it the other way. and I think you guys have a chance.
I can't freaking wait. You guys are the Saturday game too, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right. So we got Texans, Ravens, and Packers, Niners. Let's go.
It's gonna be a good day.
I could tell you who stuck out for me. For some reason, I just keep remembering plays he made yesterday. Isaiah McDuffie. I was like, dude, you balling. Like, your ass needs to sit still because you're everywhere today. Like, he played yesterday.
Dude's jacked too, yeah. Stout. He's all over the place.
Y'all did well, my boy.
Yeah, and all the receivers, Wicks and Doubs, and Jaden Reed didn't even get that involved. That's where against a team like the Niners, like, yeah, they're deep and stout on defense, but you have to cover a lot of different dudes on the Packers. It's not just one guy. Where, like, if they had played the Cowboys, they could have taken out CD and then what? But with the Packers, it's like, who do you take out because there's no number one?
Because the biggest person on the team, Wicks, is probably like the only. When he got loose on Gilmore in the end zone yesterday, I was like, Dallas is fucked because that's your best cover man, and he just burnt you. Like he made you look old. So there's nobody on San Fran secondary who can high point a ball with him if Jordan just says, go catch this.
And then if you get Christian Watson going, woo, I'm excited.
That's where y'all are going to fuck up if y'all start relying on him again. If y'all just play what y'all bring to the field, y'all be just fine. But when y'all start reverting back to we got to get Christian Watson involved, shit goes bad for y'all. I'm just saying. Just saying. Y'all,
whatever it takes.
That 12 personnel, 2 tight ends on the field, I mean, that shit was working. Who knows? Thank you for beating the Cowboys, though. We owe you one.
Yeah.
Fuck
that
the
was-
We got at least one coach fired, maybe two. So.
Now we get to all hopefully celebrate on Saturday.
Oh, man.
I can't wait for
Can I wear
Saturday. It's gonna be a good
Texans
time.
A Texans jersey with a Packers t-shirt under it?
Yes.
Deal.
I had any Texan shit. There was this place at the mall going into business here, like one of those sporting goods stores, and they had all this Deshaun Watson shit. I was like, if this was any other player other than Watson,
That's
I'd buy it 'cause it was
That's
Texans.
bad luck.
I know. So I was like, I'm not buying it, even though it's cheap as hell. But
Yeah, I don't blame you. I wouldn't buy
if
it.
they had like a Watt or some other old Texan player,
I'd wear a Brock Osweiler jersey before I wear a
Brock
Watson.
one, yeah.
Jesus.
That's it.
I found one on Depop earlier for like $10.
I don't want it. I'm just saying I would rather wear it.
And buy it for you.
The original quarterback.
All right, y'all got any last minute comments for the Packers?
Nope. Just thank you for
That
being
was
with
it was the most fun I've had watching a Packer game since the Super Bowl run, which is saying something because they've made countless NFC title games with Rodgers since then. But like none of those games felt as just like. And if you watch the locker room video after, like this team just seems to love each other. Where with the Rodgers team, like he had his guys, he had his old ass dudes, Mercedes Lewis and Cobb, and those guys are all great. But there seemed to be like it was less of a team and more like Rodgers.
It was a clique. It was the clique and the guys who do the dirty work.
It was a clique. But like if you watch these videos and if you just look at this team, they're so much looser. They all love, and it just feels cool. It feels good to generally get behind a team again. Where with Rodgers, it kind of divided the fan base the last few years on whether they liked him or didn't anymore. And it's cool just to have this kick-ass young quarterback again. We're super spoiled, but I'm enjoying it.
I shit on him pretty hard early in the season, though. My bad.
Yeah, I did too. But
That mostly had to do with Calvin, though. So,
Well, no, and Packer fans not naming names were like when they went 2-5, they were like, "Oh, y'all miss Rodgers now. Y'all miss Rodgers now," and I was like, "I don't." It was weird how they Packer fans and non-Packer fans expected immediate success. You need to give these young quarterbacks time, whether they're a rookie or first-year starter. So me, when it was 2-5, I was like, "Damn, this sucks." But I kept telling people it's growing pains. It's growing pains. Like we're not supposed to do much this year. We got to learn from this. And I've seen flashes from Love. I saw flashes from Love early on to be a little bit optimistic, and you got to stick with it. So many fan bases and media or whatever just give up on quarterbacks after shaky starts, and even Houston didn't get off to the best start this year, and it was like, wow, are either of these rookie quarterbacks any good? Then you just got to give it time to find out that yes, one of the two is good.
Yes.
Yep.
My
Really
apologies,
I put-
Green Bay.
I just hope y'all win Green Bay. I'm gonna call it Texans, Green Bay. Let's make it a rookie on rookie
Super Bowl.
That'd be
Oh,
tight.
I'd love
Hey.
That would be the
fun.
first time a rookie has ever gone to the Super Bowl.
It's like,
Wow.
nice. Let's make it happen. Let's shock the big teams. Make Saturday perfect for all of us.
Yeah.
But I thank y'all, man. Y'all made America's week for sure.
High five, James.
Yes. Oh man.
That was actually kind of perfect.
Yeah, that was actually really perfect. All right, Packers fans, NFL fans, Dallas Cowboys fans, if for some reason you're still watching, and everything in between. Like, subscribe, drop your comments down below. Best comments will be highlighted one day. Just
Yeah.
make fun of the Cowboys. We got you.
Yeah, for real.
That being said, check out our content above. Check out all of our rest of our stuff on our page. We are out of here. Much love. Later.
How much I'm working for this? I swear my dreams are too important.